Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB and welcome back here to the channel as we're going to discuss yet more transfer news in what has been a very hectic summer. So welcome to more transfer talk on behalf of OneFootball, and they have actually been bringing us some very important transfer news today, and that relates to Seri and Ousmane Dembele. And what I'm about to tell you guys sounds quite exciting. What I would say though before I continue with the video is don't get too excited yet, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stay calm, trying to stay level-headed, because we've seen this summer that absolutely anything can happen. We can be so close to a deal and all of a sudden at the end of it, it falls away. You've got to be careful what sort of reports that you believe. There's so many of them out there, so many different contrasting sides of the story. But what we are hearing this morning and throughout the day so far on this Saturday afternoon is that Barcelona now are once again interested in signing Nice midfielder Seri, and that is very good news for us, because all summer long I have been saying, since we lost Neymar, with that money buy two players. Don't buy Coutinho and Dembele, buy Dembele and Seri. Those are the two players that can come into our team, can improve us and become very important for us now and in the future as well. Those are the two players that I would personally love the club to sign, and it's also important at this point to say, even if these two players are signed, which at the moment is not confirmed, it's not even guaranteed, but even if they are, our campaign against the board still continues, because it's not about one window, it's not about sealing more than one signings. If they get these players, they will simply be doing their job, nothing more. We cannot give them any more extra credits. They've got a lot of money, they should be sealing these deals for these players, simply because both of them want to come. Seri, very much a Barcelona fan, he admires us, he wears number 6 at Nice simply because of Xavi Hernandez, and for that reason, he's desperate to come and join us and to play in our style of play. Dembele is on strike from Dortmund. He is adamant that he wants to move to Barcelona. So simply the board should be doing their job by bringing in these players. What they have done to this club revolves a lot more around just this signings and in this window. But the most important thing right now is getting players across the line. Let's first of all bring you the update on Seri. RMC Sport in France this morning quoted MD in their reports, both of them sort of correlating along the same sort of lines. They say that Barcelona have made an initial offer of 35 million euros to try to sign Seri. Now, all summer long, we have known that Seri has been waiting for our offer, and so have Nice. And all summer long, we've known he doesn't have a release clause. That is not true. There's a lot of reports that he's got a release clause. There's no release clause, but what there is an agreement between Nice and Seri that if an offer comes in of around 40 to 45 million euros, he will be gone. Nice will take that money, they'll accept it, and they'll move on. So if we've offered 35 million euros, today is the 19th of August. What are we doing? We should be going there, paying the money. His wages aren't going to be a problem. He's not on big wages. He's not a big, star. He's going to come, he's going to play well, he's going to suit our system down to a T. We need to pay the money for Seri and get it over the line. And then I think we would possibly need to look at the midfield players that we have and possibly offload one of them at least, because we're getting too stacked in that midfield area. But don't get me wrong, Seri, for me, is a necessity. We do not have another midfielder like Seri in our squad. He can come in, he can control things, he can dictate the tempo, he's comfortable on the ball, and he will help us once again try to get back to our philosophy of building from midfield, building attacks through our midfield play, and controlling possession and dominating football matches. Anything that can get that style of play back, anything which can reinforce our philosophy, I am all for. And that is why I would personally love to see Seri at Barcelona this summer. And reports say that we are serious, we do want him, but we need to be offering around 40 to 45 million euros. But MD and RMC Sport seem to believe that an agreement in the end will be made, and Seri could be the next signing announced this summer. If that's true, it'll be tremendous news, but we are still waiting to hear confirmation of that and any more reports coming in the next few hours. Now on to Ousmane Dembele, and of course over the course of the summer we have heard so much scripting between him, Coutinho. Yesterday of course you all heard that we We had a third bid for Coutinho rejected by Liverpool. They are very, very adamant that he is not leaving the club this summer. And I have said, look, let's focus on Dembele, because at least Dortmund don't mind selling him. Yes, they're demanding a very, very high fee, which they're well within their rights to do. The player is under contract. He's only been there for a season. They're demanding a very, very big fee for a player they believe is worth it. And we've got to pay the money. We've got to pay the money. And if we do, we can get Dembele. It's that simple. The player is on strike. He's currently suspended by Dortmund. He's being fined by the club. He's completely broken down relations between himself and BVB. So it makes sense on all sides if a deal can be done. And I really do hope that it can be done. We apparently now are going to go back to Dortmund. We've not spoken with them for about 10 days now since our last offer. We are going to go back to them. We're going to offer them around 100 million euros up front, the initial fee right here, right now. And then Dortmund want around 50 million euros in bonuses. Now, there's a number of factors to this, because a lot of people will be saying, you know, Dembele's not worth 150 million. Number one, you've got to consider the current market. The current market is absolutely crazy. Number two, every single club knows that we've got massive money in our banks waiting to be spent. We need to get players in, and we're desperate. For that reason, the prices go up. It's about supply and demand. The clubs know that we need the players. The fees go up. It's just what happens. What I would also say is, it's not technically 150 million right now. It'll be 100 million up front, and then there'll be bonuses. And if Dembele goes on to meet those bonuses, like goals, assists, like trophies won, possibly Ballon d'Or nominations, things like that, that's what bonuses usually are. If he goes on to meet those performance bonuses, he'll have been a success here. And if he's a success here, then you can justify the big fee. It's as simple as that. Yes, it is a risk. He's only 20 years old. 100 million plus with bonuses is a lot of money, but at the end of the day, he has a very, very high ceiling. A lot of people are coming here saying he's only had one good season at Dortmund. Technically, that is not true. You don't just end up at Dortmund just by mistake. He had a very good season when he was breaking through at Rennes in Liga 1. He had a good season there. Then he went to Dortmund, and last season he took the European leagues and in the Champions League by storm. He has performed at a consistent level. He has a lot of quality. He's everything that we need in our front line. He's not selfish. He's very selfless on the pitch. He plays for others. He makes very clever runs. He's good on the ball, and I think he'd be fantastic alongside Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez in our team. I think if we can get Seri and Dembele this summer, our squad will be in a much better position, and there will be a much more positive energy around the club. And also, I mentioned Coutinho earlier on, just to elaborate on that story a little bit. I broke the news yesterday that obviously Liverpool had rejected that third bid for Coutinho, and they are still very, very determined to hold on to the player. Coutinho desperately wants to go. He's handed in a transfer request. He's putting pressure on Liverpool to accept the offer. But the problem was FSG, Liverpool's owners, came out just before he handed in that transfer request and said very, very plainly, they addressed the fans. They said Coutinho will not be leaving this summer. He will still be here come the end of the transfer window, and simply because of that now, Liverpool's owners feel like they need to do that for the club, for themselves. They need to portray themselves in a good light, and they are being very, very stubborn when it comes to the future of Philippe Coutinho. Liverpool as well are in a very, very strong position. Coutinho signed a new contract just a few months ago, a 5-year deal. He'll have to honour that. The other thing that's in their mind as well is World Cup year. Coutinho is not going to go on strike. He's not going to sit on the bench all year and make a fuss. It's World Cup year. You want to be playing week in, week out. You want to be heading into that on good form. And of course, Coutinho will be hoping to play a big part in that World Cup for Brazil. So Liverpool know that if they keep their player, he'll have to play. He can't go on strike. He'll want to play. And at the end of it all, they'll have kept one of the best players that they have. So I think Liverpool personally in this window have taken up a very, very strong position. We've offered a lot of money. Our offer yesterday for Coutinho was 125 million euros in all, but it was broken down through a series of bonuses, much like the Dembele deal, and there was actually only believed to be around 90 million euros actually offered up front. So there is possibly a little bit of room there for improvement. We might well make another offer for Philippe Coutinho, but like I say, right now I think we should be focusing all our efforts on going to get Dembele. He's the one who's really forced the move. He's left training. He's really caused a bit of a fuss at Dortmund. It will be very, very difficult now if we didn't get the deal done with Dembele. He's put himself in a very bad position with the club simply because he thought we would be sealing the deal, we would come and get him. I think it's only fair now that we pursue him. He's a very exciting young player. Coutinho obviously about 5 years older than Dembele. Of course he's got that experience, he's a bit more marketable, but I think in terms of growth in the future, right now we should be placing our investment solely in Ousmane Dembele this summer, and at the same time then we can bring in Jean Seri, strengthen two areas and still have money remaining from that Neymar sale. So I want to know your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think of all of this news Do you think Jean Seri is going to join the club? Do you think that we can get Ousmane Dembele over the line? Or do you think that we should still be pursuing Coutinho? Do you think we should be continuing trying to get him away from Liverpool? Or should we simply now give up? Enough is enough. Move away and move on in this transfer window. Let me know all your thoughts down below, guys. I will see you very, very soon with more videos. I'm going to have the preview to Real Betis against Barcelona. That's going to be coming up later on this evening. Our first game in La Liga kicks off tomorrow, live from the Camp Nou tomorrow evening. That's going to be very, very exciting. I really do hope that we can get off to the best start possible. That's going to be coming up later on. I've got more videos planned as well coming up for you guys. And of course, this is the transfer window. We could hear a lot more things and a lot more rumours coming up in the coming hours. I'll see you very, very soon indeed. But until then, as always, Visca el Barça.